drag racing. It's another dimension. Two cars dice for a quarter mile. Insanely powerful machines pushed to the bizarre limits of performance. Machines with one purpose: to conquer the formidable barrier of time. Labor Day at Indianapolis. The furious excitement of the National Drag Racing Championships. Professional driver Charlie Allen guides his monstrous machine toward the starting line to begin his personal battle against time.
I've usually never stressed to go fast. I've always just liked to win races and go quick. But most of the cars now, to go quick, you're having to run close to 200 miles an hour or over 200 miles an hour most of the time. These cars, as you know, have a tremendous amount of horsepower. We've got about 1,600 horsepower, which is comparable to what they have in the fuel dragsters. And as you know, they're fiberglass body cars, so they look like stock cars. I think it's extremely exciting to drive one. It's been sort of an evolution with me. I started driving stockers in 1965, and each year we've gone a little faster and a little faster, and I haven't really noticed the change as being a drastic, all of a sudden I've got 1,600 horsepower change. In 1965 we had 450, 500 horsepower, and then it went to 700 horsepower and on its way up. So it hasn't been a big change for me to get in a car like this and drive it, but it is very, very exciting. The business of drag racing is very hard. It's a lot of work, many long hours, a lot of concentration, and a lot of promoting. And if you don't, you better do them all or you won't be a success in it.
The past turns into future when the red light turns to green. I can make it happen in my time machine. Time's frozen by motion, speed can almost make me blind. Heat inside my helmet nearly bends my mind. Tires are screaming, mid smoke and fire I'm dreaming of the someday when no time will pass at all.
Indianapolis Raceway Park is little more than a strip of asphalt, cluttered with fierce, flame-belching automobiles, driven and maintained by men whose love affair with machinery is legendary. Nearly 2,000 of them have come to Indy to participate in the National Hot Rod Association's annual championships and to race in brief, flat-out bursts for more than $100,000 in prize money and trophies in a myriad of classes and categories.
10.77.
The challenge is simple: to travel the quarter-mile track in the briefest possible time. It is an exercise in raw horsepower, meaning that engines are stressed via supercharging, exotic tuning, and special fuels to the outer limits of durability, and sometimes beyond. Once the potent mixtures have been loaded into the fuel tanks, the car is driven through a bath of household bleach in order to cleanse the tires of foreign matter that might impede traction. When success or failure is based on particles of seconds, nothing is left to chance. The competition is so fierce that many teams are driven to the use of volatile space-age fuels in their quest for power. Engine life is measured in terms of seconds, merely long enough to thrust the machines 1,320 feet in a cataclysmic burst of energy. Operating under such extreme stresses, engine failure occurs with alarming frequency, often in a shower of flame. Although this driver escapes injury, similar mishaps take 2 lives at Indy and destroy thousands of dollars in expensive machinery. In a sport noted for its high standards of safety, the struggle against time reaches the outer limits. Funny cars, as they're called, operate in a limbo between fantasy and reality. Externally, they resemble normal street automobiles, but their thin fiberglass shells cover sparse tubular frames and gigantic engines. They are nearly as fast as the pure dragsters, and their wicked displays of noise and speed make them great favorites among the crowd.
That's a big upsetting.
A pair of cars and drivers work their way through the elimination round. One final race between a pair of California pros remains. Danny Ongaias, driving a machine that resembles a Mustang sports coupe, will face Rich Saroyan at the wheel of a sparkling red Barracuda-bodied creation. The two drivers' rivalry is old and intense. Their cars' speeds are almost equal.
Saroyan has red-lighted. Rich Saroyan red light. The winner is Danny Ongaias. Mickey Thompson wins. Let's read the numbers. A lap time for Big John.
Saroyan appears to win, but has left the line a millisecond early, causing his disqualification. Although he makes the run with an elapsed time of 7.24 seconds with a speed of 204 miles per hour, his error in judgment cost him the race. The winner, who drives a car belonging to retired racing champion Mickey Thompson, takes the championship, while his time for the quarter mile is slower, 7.47 seconds. Drag racing demands great speed, but punishes the overeager who violate its fail-safe electronic starting system. Today, Danny Ongaias observed rules and won, ironically by being slower. backbone of drag racing is formed by the stock class automobiles, cars that closely resemble those driven on the street. Although slower than the dragsters, they face the same challenge, to run the quarter mile faster than the competition. While many of the stock class drivers are weekend amateurs, the men who dominate the action are full-time professionals. One such pro is a burly veteran named Dick Landy.
I enjoy the superstock racing myself, and that's probably the biggest reason that I'm going to stick in it. I've been into funny cars, and I enjoyed them, but I enjoy the superstockers a lot more. We have the competition in the superstockers. Instead of having 10, 15 cars, we've got 80 or 90 to contend with. The racing itself, I enjoy a lot more than I do the preparation. Let's put it that way. Preparation's a lot of hard work. I believe probably that the average individual who does it as a hobby, I would say it's at least 80%. They spend their whole lives working. Imagine their wives and families get pretty upset at them sometimes, but it's more of a family thing with them. Myself, it's a business. We do it day in, day out, and hire people to do the job.
Landy is knocked out of contention in an elimination round, while another top pro, Ronnie Sox of Burlington, North Carolina, moves into the final. Sox's job of winning the Superstock Championship becomes a simple one when his opponent, Dave Wren of Missoula, Montana, experiences car failure on the starting line.
Drive shaft. The drive shaft lets go, and your champion is Sox and Martin, 10 points.
While the racing goes on in spurts of noise on the track, the zany scene that is Indy flows in a colorful parade of flamboyant people and spectacular machines. Behind the pop art at Indy lies the deadly serious world of fuel dragster competition. A world filled with driving greats like Don the Snake Prudhomme and Don Big Daddy Garland.
I've been doing it now for about 8 years, and every year they get faster and stronger, and they come out with new equipment and 2-speed transmissions for fuel dragsters, which a couple of years ago you never even think of something like that. So it does excite me every year. It's something new to happen, and it's something new to look forward to.
The cars are turning today with the 650s and the 230-mile-an-hour runs. The horsepower has to be fantastic. It may be approaching 1,700 horsepower on some of these cars, really turning fast times.
Within about 6 months ago, a couple of fellows dropped into the big 60s, and I thought that was a national event where we got A #1 clocks and timing it in run one. That's when you do it.
In this sport as it is right now, the machine probably is playing about 20% of the performance of the cars, and I'd say the man is about 80. Now, when drag racing first got started, the machine played about 80% and the driver about 20, and it has moved to the new position in the last, say, 5 years, because it's so important how the driver drives his machine and responds to the way the machine reacts.
When I used to drive a car from somebody before I paid for it for myself, I used to think it was about 50-50, but now I'm afraid it's about 70-30 for the machine. You've got to have the top running machine to compete, especially against people like Garlitz and Tom McEwen and so on. It's when you come to the start line, you better be ready, and so you got to have the good equipment.
They've gotten cars out of the junkyards, old model cars, I'm talking about old model, I mean, 10, 12 years old. And they've just completely hampered these cars. They ride on trailers. They get worked on 7 days a week. No dust can settle on these cars. They never go out into the rain.
About 2 years ago, I guess it was then now, I had full desires to go to Indianapolis. I wanted to drive a speedway car. But drag racing is growing with such leaps and bounds till it just, I have no time to do anything else, and I'm building a funny car right now, and I'm building another field dragster, so it's really hard to get out of it, plus I love it.
This is the world Prudhomme loves. Speeds over 230 miles per hour, brutal G-loads punishing his body, and the fearsome challenge of trying to control a machine that resembles a guided missile more than an automobile.
David Chenevert, a slow 702, 194.38.
The struggle against the clock continues as men thunder down the short strip of pavement like artillery shells. Time machines reduce racing to the most basic dimension. It is a flat-out proposition, without mercy for the opposition or one's equipment. Sometimes things break under this oppressive strain. In the semi-final race, Prudhomme wins, but this crew plus a slight reprieve due to a rain shower give him time to install a replacement engine. With his best engine ruined, fuel eliminator, against a hot young contender from Southern California named the unsinkable Kelly Brown, a driver who gains in stature with each successful run. Before the big showdown comes, a pair of outlandish machines roll to the line to square off for the Super Eliminator title. Ron Ellis and his 1923 Model T-bodied dragster faces George Montgomery's supercharged Mustang in the championship run. Montgomery wins a tight race, running 164 miles per hour in the process. A pair of gas dragsters driven by Dominic Santucci and Phil Hobbs stage for the Top Gas Eliminator Championship. Identical to the mighty fuel dragsters, except that their engines run on pump gasoline, the gassers are nearly as quick as their more powerful cousins. Santucci wins the title when Hobbs starts too soon and red lights. The tension that is built around the top fuel eliminator race is about to unwind. Kelly Brown and Don Prudhomme are strapped into their fearsome machines and pushed toward the starting line. Brown cannot withstand the determined charge of Prudhomme, who wins a second Nationals crown. He streaks through the quarter mile in 6.51 seconds, hitting a top speed of 223 miles per hour. Elated at his victory, which looked so improbable in the face of his mechanical woes only hours earlier, Prudhomme celebrates with his crew and his opponent. Looking as if he's driven 500 miles rather than 1,320 feet, he stands at the top of his trade for a fleeting moment of notoriety and reward, until he and his courageous colleagues once again climb into their awesome cars to resume their relentless battle against time.
The past turns into future when the red light turns to green. I can make it happen in my time machine. Time's frozen by motion, speed can almost make me blind. Heat inside my helmet nearly bends my mind. The tires are screaming, mid-smoke and fire I'm dreaming of the someday when no time will pass at all.